Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. I hope you are doing well during Coronacation. Seems to be a little bit of an adjustment for everyone. So the great thing about therapeutic arts is it gives us a great opportunity to really kind of decompress and take a break from the world, because that's what art does for us. It allows us to express ourselves creatively. And there is no right or no wrong answer with creativity. That's the beauty of it. So we can work out some of our emotions without having to really talk to anyone at the moment. We can just take a break from everybody. And that's the beauty of art. So what I want to share with you tonight really is the fact that we're going to break it down to a little bit of simplicity. And it's going to be the focus I'm focusing on tonight is protecting your peace of mind. So there are three very simple exercises that I'm going to show you that you can do at home, you can do with me, or you can do with children if you have them, or other family members, that would really just help you process some of the emotions that you're going through, and just to take a break from the news, take a break from the world. And I know sometimes feeling, depending on where you are, if you're isolated, you feel like you have a little too much of a break, but this allows you to kind of just take a break mentally. And that's the focus of this October, is it's Mental Health Wellness Month. And so we really want to do what we can to maintain our peace of mind with everything going on. So if you have a piece of paper, or your markers or your art supplies, please gather them now. You're also going to need a small mirror if you have a mirror, no matter what size it is. It can be large, small, whatever you need. And go ahead and get your supplies together just for a minute, and then I will start. So glad everyone got to come out today. It's awesome. Beautiful day today here. I'm in Texas, by the way, in Houston. And so we've been blessed with some gorgeous weather these last few days. I cannot complain. Okay, so just to kind of show you what we're gonna do. So this is my paper. It's kind of massive. It's recycled paper. I get this from Texas Art Supply. You can also order it online. Um, it's from Canson. So the first exercise that we're going to do today is I'm going to focus you on a little bit of decompressing some of the mental chatter in your mind. I know people have a tendency to watch the evening news and catch a lot of feedback from what's happening in the world, including politically. It can be a lot. It can be a lot to handle, and it can be a lot to process and take in. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do a practice, and you may have heard it before. It's called wabi sabi. It's a W-I, and the other word is sabi. Wabi is feelings of solitude or loneliness when we are isolated into a position where we really can't spend as much time with our family and friends. It is the concept of non-attachment and the appreciation for the spontaneous unfolding of life events. It is a way for us to kind of focus on our inner self and who we are and how we're doing emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. And so what we're going to do with the first line of the wabi is I want you to basically draw out, starting with a circle. Just start any circle that you want to draw. You can use your mirror, you could use a can. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle. It doesn't matter, you can't go wrong. I have a tendency to draw with pens and markers. So I have a thing for circles, so I'm actually going to use my mirror. We're going to draw two circles, one at the top. You can't see mine. I use a marker so you can see. And then one at the bottom. You're going to draw them to the center of your paper. Pick this up so you can see a little better. The top one is going to be your wabi, and the bottom one is going to be your sabi. Okay? All right, up here. Wabi. And this one is sabi. So in your wabi, what I want you to think about is, what has this period of solitude done for you? What have been some of the blessings that have come out of having a little more time to yourself than usual? So for me, one would be drawing what it looks like. It doesn't have to be intricate, because we're dealing with a type of art that is very simple and that is very baseline. So when you talk about feelings of loneliness or solitude, what is an image that comes to your mind's eye? Is it, when I think of something, I think of like a candle lighting the dark, right? That sometimes we have to go in and process our own thoughts and feelings, because we get so busy in the world. You know, the world runs 90 miles an hour. It runs in a way where we don't always have time to stop and really consider what's going on in our own heart and what it is that we desire. And so wabi is really about looking at what it is that the solitude gives us. Does it give us more time to purge and clean out? Like, does it give us time to kind of drop some of the thoughts that we've been holding on to for quite a while that maybe no longer serve us? Does it give us time to strategize? And yeah, sure. This is wabi and sabi. There's wabi, and there is sabi. I'm just doing 2 circles. So wabi is, we're trying to create a concept of what solitude has done for us. What has been the blessing of the solitude? For me, creatively, like I was telling everyone, for me, I see a candle in the dark. I think it has allowed people the time to step back from the world, step back from the busyness, because sometimes we're so busy that we kind of miss the moments of working on us. You know what I mean? Like, especially if you're a woman, you know, being a woman, we're natural caretakers. So we're used to taking care of everyone, stepping out and doing things. And a great way to do this too is you can just sit back for a minute and you can just close your eyes. You can imagine just going back to when you were very young and what it is that brought you your peace of mind. You know, was it, did you like to color? Did you like to draw? What was an image for you that brought you your peace of mind? And that's something that you can put in your wabi section. You can write in there as like, for me, when I was young, it was the beach. I liked spending time near the pool in the water. So for me, wabi would be something very simple. And we break that simplicity down to something very simple. So whatever that image is what we're going to put in this. So for me, I would take something and I would actually do the color blue. I would do, it's either going to be light, like a candle in the dark, or I'm going to draw water. I'm doing for you a very simple practice. It's actually known as Zen art. And Zen art is a type of art that breaks things down to the simplest form. It's really about getting really clear about what the blessing is in the solitude. So out of all the stuff that we compartmentalize in the world, that we look at, all the things that, you know, are in front of us on a day-to-day basis, especially on the evening news, when you break it down to just one simple thing, what has been the blessing and the solitude for your own peace of mind? And that's what we're going to draw in our wabi.
Lex, excuse me, you're getting some requests. If you can hold your paper up from time to time so they can see what you're doing. Thank you.
So here's the wabi. I'm trying, so for me, wabi, breaking down what the blessing solitude for me has been in isolation is I've really been hitting the pool. And so I'm whether I go out and have lunch with people by the water, sit near the water, I'm finding myself gravitating to water. And for me, the solitude in the simplest form is going with the flow. You know, sometimes we're resistant to change, but what life is it is constantly flowing. And so for me, water represents on my wabi. The blessing of solitude and isolation is going with the flow. Instead of trying to resist it and getting upset about it and complaining about it and running a negative racket about it, I'm going to step into flow. And so for you, your wabis might be something different. Your wabi might be maybe you had more time to meditate. And so you have an image in your meditation that you focus on. Or your wabi could be, you know, the fact that maybe you had more time with your family and you create one image that represents family to you. So your wabi is breaking down the one thing that has been the biggest blessing for you during coronation. How are y'all doing with simplicity? It's a little, to me, I find creating something simplistic a little more challenging than, you know, all of the stuff that we take in a day. So the brain takes in like 20 million bits of data per minute, but the mind is only conscious of 50 of that. And simplicity, if I'm breaking down my wabi into one thing, for me, I'm just stepping into flow. It doesn't have to be anything overly integrated. It's really symbolic for you. So it's like if I'm stepping into flow, and that's what I've gotten out of isolation is being able to flow more with my own time and focus on my self-care, then that's the blessing that's coming out of isolation. And that's what wabi is. And, you know, we want to, in art, sorry, I'm just kind of sketch drawing. In art, we want to be very intricate, but for me, these are sketches of something I would use later on. But this is something that you know, sometimes when you're playing around, the wabi and the sabi is kind of a fun concept because the sabi is a little bit different. It's looking at the ordinariness of an object. It is just, it's the opposite. It's what's tangible, what you can touch. It's the basic, like, unmistakable uniqueness of a thing in and of itself. So for example, everyday objects would be like a bottle of water. We use it every day. We don't think anything about it, right? Or we don't think about the spoon or the fork. You know, it took someone, it's a piece of art, even though you don't see it as a piece of art, it's called a utensil, but is it really a utensil? And so sabi is the opposite, where wabi, you're looking at the more like spiritual aspect of something, and sabi, you're looking at more of the actual practical, tangible subject. So in sabi, you could find a household object. And for me, that's why I asked y'all to grab a mirror, is the mirror is for you. You are something that you see every single day. You are an individual, but it's easy to get caught up in what other people perceive of you, but not so much in what you perceive of yourself. And so what's cool about this is in the sabi, when you look in the mirror, what is one thing on you that's tangible that you love about yourself, that you appreciate about yourself? When you look in the mirror, it just kind of, you know, you speed through, women throw on their makeup, they're hurrying. If you have children, you're trying to balance it all. And so with sabi, we're trying to bring that into an artistic form. And when you do these exercises, when you do the wabi and the sabi, what you can use it for is to launch a bigger project or a bigger painting. It's just something to inspire you to kind of move forward in a different direction. So when you look in the mirror, it's also an exercise in self-esteem. Like, what do I love about me? Not what do other people love about me and think about me, but what do I love about me in the sabi? I'm something that I see every day. Do I appreciate myself? Am I taking care of myself? You know, these are things that get neglected. We just kind of brush over because we're so busy rushing through life most of the time. But because of isolation, we have been able to kind of break it down into, okay, I see me and I'm seeing me every day. How can I improve on myself? So in your sabi, for me, you're going to want to find the one thing that it is that you appreciate about yourself. And that's what we're going to put in the circle for sabi. And then we're going to continue from there. Okay. So when you look in the mirror, pick one thing. It could be your eyes. It could be your mouth. It could be your ears. It could be your voice, hair. What is one thing that you appreciate about yourself? Oh, come on. Everybody has something. I see you, Melva. Everybody's got something, huh, Francine? Like, everybody has something you love about yourself, you know? And that's where, and even if it's, whether it's tangible or intangible, you could be someone with a great heart. Then we put a heart in the sabi, right? Because you're someone who does amazing things. Maybe you have a way to connect with people that other people don't. You know, some people are kind. What does kindness look like in sabi? Like, what represents kindness to you? And that's what we would sketch out in this. Or it could be something tangible you like about yourself. You know, I like my big lips. I have a big mouth. Sometimes it gets me in trouble, but hey, you know? So for me in my sabi, and I'm just drawing with a marker so y'all can see what I'm doing. In my sabi, I would just draw a pair of my lips. What about you, Melva? Got some fabulous hair over there. You know, like, what is it that you really like about yourself? You know? And so that's where we're going with this, is like, you're taking the time and this whole, you know, quietness and the extra time that we have to ourselves to really look at, what do I appreciate about me?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Uh-huh. Oh, hi,
Hey. I didn't know I was on mute.
Melva.
Okay.
Everyone is muted.
Okay.
So, but just know that, like, you know, we're going to find that one thing that we appreciate ourselves about ourselves, and we're going to put it in our sabi. So for me, I'm just going to draw, and this is more playful, like an animation style. If you're like a person who draws very realistic, you do not have to be a good drawer to do this stuff. What's great about it too is it's fun to do with children, because children just like the names wabi and sabi. They think they're fun names. So in the wabi, I found my flow, and in the sabi, I find my voice. If that makes sense. So out of, you know, coronation, and this is just to share, is, you know, I've been teaching therapeutic arts to people online to help them with their mental health, because PTSD is a real issue right now. You know, and so the great thing about art, and like, if I find my sabi, and my sabi is my lips, this marker, hold on. Marker. So my favorite pencil in the universe is, they're called Prismacolors. And when you color with them, they have a different variance of color. With sabi, you're playing with more of a style of kind of an animation, playful style. And you limit your colors. You limit your color to like 3 colors. And it's because the style of Zen art is more simplistic. And it is so that you're focusing, that the area that you create, normally I wouldn't write on any of my art pieces, to be honest with you, but normally what we're creating is the openness of space so that your focus is only on one thing. So for example, with Zen gardening and Zen gardens, okay, so in Zen gardens, you'll have like dirt and it'll have like one rock and a tree because they like the concept of focusing your eye on one thing. And then they might have like a few flowers. In Western art, or in Western gardening, we would have thousands of flowers in a garden, so much so that sometimes we can lose the beauty of so much because we're in a culture of excess. So what's unique about Zen art is really about stripping it down, stripping it down, stripping it down, and finding that one thing, right, in Sabi that I love about myself. And then in Wabi, what is the blessing that's come out of isolation? That's two concepts of Zen art. That's pretty fabulous because, you know, our culture, we're always taking on stuff. We're taught that, you know, more is more and we need more. And, you know, we're always accumulating and compiling. And I don't know about anyone else, but, you know, during COVID, I have done a lot of purging, cleaning out and purging, right? And the thing with this is this is the opposite, where in art, you're breaking everything down to that one thing. You know, there used to be a joke that when you're purging your house or purging your closet, your war is against stuff. Well, now this is all the stuff in your mind. So it's bringing you down to two concepts. What's the blessing in isolation and what's the beauty that you found in yourself, you know? And in the baseline form of Zen art, what's very unique about it is that it tells you that even in the simplest way, you are enough. I am enough. Stuff doesn't mean that I'm enough. You're enough just as you are. Just as you are. So when you get these two things down, what we're going to do is we're actually going to turn them into gratitude suns. Completely different. So you're going to have to ignore my my writing. But with a gratitude sun, what you need to do is we're going to turn these into gratitude suns. So you need a straight line, whether that is your ruler, a book edge, anything with a straight line that'll help you draw a straight line. I usually use like a book or a cover or another sheet of paper. I'll take a sheet of paper. I don't have my ruler and I just fold it. I'll just use it to make a line. See? So with ease and gratitude, I'll pull you a little closer so you can see. So with ease and gratitude, what you do is you take your line and you're just going to extend your lines out. You're going to make you can do it one of two ways. You can make, I don't like this marker. This marker and I do not get along very well. Okay. On this one, you do like a line, or you can make an actual ray out of it. So you can do an extension. If you've never done a gratitude sun, this is a simplistic way to turn Wabi and Sabi into what's a baseline gratitude sun. Can you see my ray? I'm making 1 point. I feel like I can never have enough Sharpies. Okay, so on this, you're going to continue. Let me turn it this way. I'm going to keep drawing rays. Some people like their sun rays like this. I'll show you. People like just like a straight edge sun ray. They don't like this. They like just a straight line. There is no wrong way. You can do it either way. Either way you go. And I'm just going to keep going around. I'm going to hit my Sabi, but I'm going to go around it. And you can overlap them. There's really no wrong way to do your rays. It's however you want to do them. That making sense? So I'm making even longer rays. What you're going to do is you're going to go around the entire circle making your rays. See, I'm going all the way around. I have a tendency when I do some stuff, it ends up being a little more modern, right? So I'm literally creating a sun out of my wabi. Now here comes the fun part. As you go around your sun and you make your wabi, so we'll start with the wabi. So remember, I told you to think about the things that are blessings for you in isolation. So for me, it was stepping into flow. And so flow is water. I did it very simplistically. I'm not, if you feel like coloring the whole wabi in, you're more than welcome, right? It's however you want to do it. There's no wrong way to do art. There's just no wrong way. But the great thing is that you're going to come now, and when you were thinking about, okay, what's been the blessings in isolation, you're actually going to, and I'm going to grab a different color so you can see, you're going to write what have been blessings in isolation. And the concept behind this is really teaching you to shift your perspective, okay? We're looking at things that have come out. So maybe like, for example, I'm going to write purge. Purging. I'm going to put purging as one of the blessings of being in isolation during coronation. Because it's been an opportunity to really clean out. A lot of people can clean out their house, clean out their gardens, cleaning out whatever they need to. And that helps move the energy in your house and in your life. Another one would be, oh my gosh, I'm going to put my pool. I know it sounds really silly, but I really love swimming and I love the water. I might even put the beach because I love the beach too. Another blessing would be, oh my gosh, my relationships. I'm actually writing this in the rays of my sun. See this? I'm writing it in the rays of my sun, or you can write them at the top. You can write them even here if you want. There's no right or wrong way to put, and when I say you're simplifying like wabi and sabi, you're taking it down to that one word blessing that's come out of, maybe a little more time in solitude than normal. Maybe you've gotten the opportunity to like reorganize your life. You've got an opportunity to spend more time with your family or your children. Maybe you have had an opportunity to reinvent yourself, recreate your work. And that is what we're focusing on. So for me, I do therapeutic art, but I also do biofield energy therapy, and I work in a sensory deprivation spa. But because of COVID, we're shut down to 1 day a week, which is not enough business, which is very challenging. But the blessing in that is I've gotten a lot to spend time with PTSD clients that I would not normally get to spend as much time with. I get more focused time with people. So one blessing would be being organized, being organized. So on these, And I'm keeping mine very simple. And that's the whole point of this, is that you're to keep it simple so that when you complete it and you hang it somewhere near you where you can see it, you have a gratitude sun of something to be grateful for every day. Something to remind you of something to be grateful for every day. A huge one for me would be, you know, health, waking up and being healthy, you know. And so in each of these things, we're going to put something important to us. What are you putting in yours, Francine? You have to unmute yourself. You're still muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me
No,
now?
it's okay.
Oh, okay. I put down resting because we had such a hectic life before. Now I'm
Right.
enjoying the rest. I put down communication. I'm talking to so many more people than I did before COVID. which is
Right.
great. We have weekly phone calls. It's wonderful. And what was the other thing? And staying safe.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm an only child. I'm used to being by myself. So being at home is just fine with me. I do get out,
Yeah.
go to the grocery store and whatever, but I'm very content sitting home, reading a book, etc. So that gives me peace of mind.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, you know, it's funny. I was an only child too until I was 10. And then I got my first sibling. And that, you know, and you're right, you learn to play well by yourself, and then you learn to play well with others.
Exactly.
Thank you for sharing. I appreciate
You're
that.
welcome.
I
You're welcome.
added your resting to mine. I think that's a brilliant one. It's been such a busy week. I think I need to add that in some more. What about you, Maria? How are you doing? What's going
I
into your gratitude, son?
um I think mine is gonna go with work, friends, family. It's got all the positivity of things. Because of the pandemic, a lot of people are not working, but I was able to get a job in December last year. So I'm a frontline worker. I work at a grocery store, so I feel good that work is helping me a lot. So I'm happy. I really am.
Yeah. I think we've had an opportunity to almost reinvent ourselves in a way, and reinvent how we're going to be moving forward, you know? So on top of this, you can go ahead and you can finish out your thing, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move on to Sabi for you guys. And Sabi, what makes Sabi unique, and I put my circles too close together, is you're actually, when you do the Sabi sun, you're doing a sun about what things you're grateful for about yourself. So we're going to shift the focus from what's the blessing of isolation during coronation, and now we're going to do the rays of the sun into what are the things that we love about ourselves. I'm going to write on this one so you see that half of my rays are done. On my Sabi, I'm going to put, I'm sorry, my Wabi, I'm going to put clarity, that I have clarity. Now I'm going to go down with the Sabi, and I'm going to do the same thing one more time. This time I'm going to take my edge, and I'm going to make more rays. And even though they blend with this one, I'll do it in blue ink so y'all can see it. Actually, you know what? Oh no. Hold on. I'm going to switch to my other color. I'm going to switch to a red. And I'm going to do my lines for my Sabi. And remember, your Sabi is the things that you love and appreciate about yourself. Because I think that Corona has given us a lot of time for reflection. You know, what's really important to you? What makes you, what brings you joy? So in your sabi, mine are gonna overlap because mine are like way close together. And again, the beauty of art is you really can't do anything wrong in art. Unless you're doing like sacred geometry, that's a little different. And for my sabi, I'm choosing a little bit thinner of an ink. You can kind of see this. This is a little bit thinner ink. See? It's more red to the red tones. It's like a true red. It's like, I'll show you, it's like red. And I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna do this one as well. I'm just gonna go ahead and go around the whole sun and do my rays. And then I'm gonna fill them in with things that you love about yourself and appreciate about yourself. Part of the reason we're doing this is because when people are isolated, even if we're in communication with people, not everyone is around people who tell them how fabulous they are every day, you know, or how much you're loved, you know, if you're not in a romantic partnership. So this is the sun. So in these rays, we're going to add what we like about ourselves. And that could be going to do I'm going to put humor. Might be one thing I like about myself is my sense of humor. I try not to take anyone too seriously. Another thing would be my art life or creativity. That's something I like about myself. I think another thing I would put in there, and this really isn't about, just to be clear about this is not about narcissism. It's really about appreciation for the qualities that you have that maybe you've never taken a visual inventory of how you are, how you show up in the world. Maybe another thing, like for me, kind. What are the qualities? Some people are really charming. Maybe you're a good cook. Maybe you know how to encourage people. Maybe you're a good mom, or you're just loving. Maybe you're generous. Good baker. You're a great coach. So in each ray, we're going to put that, and what you're going to end up with is what look like two suns almost. You're going to have a very simple image of the flow of the water, you know, depending on how you want to do art. Me, I'm not really picky about it. You can do it either way. You're going to have a simple picture of your wabi and your sabi broken down for you. And then you're going to be able to see it every day and be reminded every day that this is the blessing that's come out of this situation. Like coronation. And these are the things that I'm amazing. Maybe in this time you found out how resilient you are. Maybe you found out that you're stronger than you knew you were. Maybe you found out that you're better with money than some of your friends, or managing money. Maybe you picked up a new hobby. And so when you finish these suns, you're gonna have full suns. What I would do, like for something like this, where the sabi is, if I don't like the word, you can come in here with a paint. You can come in with paints, and you can actually you can color it in, so that way you don't even see it. So you could take it. I don't like my sabi word in here. I would just come in and color it in. Okay. Just leave it there. You don't have to use black. You can use any color you want. Watercolors are good for this too. If you have watercolors, you can watercolor into your space. So you can't see my wabi and sabi anymore. You see what I just did? I just filled it in. You can use any color you want. You don't have to use black. I'm just doing that to show you. So that way I can hide my wordage, because I normally don't, I know for myself that this is wabi and sabi, but this is to remind you every day where your blessings are in case you forget. And that's how we do that. So I hope you enjoyed today's workshop today. My name is Lex Lumiere. Thank you so much for coming out and for joining me. You can find me at CharityNetworkNews.com or Love Story Gallery. I'm online. I love therapeutic art. It's a great way to give people a little bit of way to maintain their peace of mind, and that's what you're trying to do throughout this whole thing. A very simple thing you can do too is just unplug from the world for a day. Cut off your phone, cut off your TV, and listen to classical music. Listen to music without words. And that helps your brain decompress from everything that's going on. Okay?